Dude, this speaker doesn't even work for me anymore. I've done it like 12 times. Welcome in. Championship Sunday. We're going to run through both games, giving a chance for everyone to get in here. We're going to talk touchdown scores. We're going to talk game scripts. We're going to talk narratives, as we always do. As always, the boys are buzzing, the living room's flooded, and the juices are flowing this morning. Sunday, one of the greatest days of the year. Today, we used to dream, we used to pray for times like this back in July, the dog days. We got two games, Championship Sunday. Patty Mahomes. Either are the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Patty Mahomes taking a trip to Baltimore. Lamar Jackson's first AFC championship. Will he show up? What happened? The audio. I mean, we're like hanging on by a thread over here. Maybe that's why. Is it good? Is it good? Oh, Jesus. This is an L. This is an L. This is an L. Fuck. 1-1, 2-2. Nothing? Yo, 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 yo. We good? Well, wait. It's going to come through now. It's good now. All right, cut it. All right. I don't know what the hell just happened. That was an L. But like we said, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Patty Mahomes taking a trip to Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, first AFC championship. Will he show up to the big game? Last week, first half, things were sketchy. The Texans didn't even sniff the red zone. It was 10-10 at half. Things were looking a little dicey. Is it the same old Lamar not being able to show up to the big game? Second half, they come out, the boys buzz. You got Roquan Smith, you got Kyle Hamilton, you got Patrick Queen, you got Jadeveon Clowney, Marlon Humphrey's playing today. Everyone under the sun. But we're going to get to that game script. We're going to get to that narrative. We're going to leak that script. We're going to talk about both games. We're going to talk about touchdown scores. We're going to flood the goddamn living room. We're going to talk both games. As I said, I don't know if you heard me because the mic was going in and out. We used to pray for times like this back in July, back in August, the dog days of summer. This is the best Sunday of the year outside of Super Bowl Sunday, which we will see you in Vegas for. However, game number one. Game number one. Let's go. Boys are buzzing. Boys are buzzing. Game number one. Obviously, we're staring down the barrel of the same situation as last week. Patty Mahomes going against another wagon, going against the Baltimore Ravens as a dog. Last week, what is he straight up as a dog? 8-3 straight up, 9-1-1 against the spread as a dog. How are we? We're doing well. We have now a 4.5 point spread. It's tight back there, boys. It's tight. It's tight. We have a 4.5 point spread in Baltimore. And recently, last week, or this past week, a game narrative came out. Every team that has beaten Josh Allen in Josh Allen's career in the playoffs, the following week has gone out to lose. Absolutely unreal. 4 playoff appearances for Josh Allen. 4 teams the following week who beat Josh Allen lost. Absolutely unreal. We then continue. Lamar Jackson's first AFC Championship game. The defense is buzzing. The Ravens, number 1 in sacks this season, but coming up at number 2, the Kansas City Chiefs in sacks. We have Patty Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. It's going to lead me to my first game pick. And I feel like my hands are indeed tied. One guy you know is going to show up to the big game every single time. Every single time. Proven. We've seen it. He shows up to the big game. You can throw the Super Bowl logo colors out the window if you want, or the Baltimore Ravens are going to win this game on a field goal by Justin Tucker off his leg. But moral of the story, you're going to have to feed me the 4.5. Andy Reid in the playoffs going against his former assistant coaches. Is it 6-0? 6-0? Or 5-0? I got to pull it up. Andy Reid going against former assistant coaches is 5-0 in the playoffs. That was against Sean McDermott last week. Doug Peterson in the divisional round in 2022. Sean McDermott again in 21 in the divisional. Sean McDermott again in the AFC chip. And in the 2008 wild card. So 5-0. 5-0 against former assistant coaches in the playoffs. So we have a couple different narratives coming in. We got obviously the Super Bowl logo color, yes. Teams who beat Josh Allen in the playoffs the following week, 0-4. Andy Reid going against his former assistant coaches, 5-0, all in the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes shows up to the big game. Lamar Jackson sometimes can be a little shaky. Sometimes may hold the ball a little too long. Sometimes have to rely on his feet a little too much. Can he come up in the big plays and the big scenarios? Because this is one thing that I love to think about. The fact that Patrick Mahomes went down 7+ points in the playoffs in his career is 8-2 straight up. When he drops down a touchdown or more, he is 8-2 straight up in the playoffs, and the 2 losses are to Tom Brady. So, if we see this game, the Ravens come out buzzing a little bit, jump up to a 7-0, 14-0, 10-0 lead. I'm not worried. I'm not worried because Patrick Mahomes, will be coming around the corner. On the opposite side, I don't know if you can feel comfortable with Lamar either 1, dropping down, or 2, jumping out to a lead. What happened not too long ago around week 10, Baltimore Ravens hosting the Cleveland Browns, they jump up to a 24-9 lead. 24-9. They end up losing that game at home in Baltimore. One of the key factors of this game today, the Baltimore Ravens have, allowed some big rushing numbers to running backs this season. Zach Moss, when the Colts went there earlier this season, had 130. Jerome Ford and the Browns, they rushed for what? Like 180 as a team when they won that game. We've seen Derrick Henry put up numbers, so on and so forth. I was looking through the game logs, can't remember off the top of my head, but there's been some good running backs. The put up some good numbers and some good games against this Baltimore Ravens team. Recently, week 15, Kyron Williams, over 110 rushing yards. We saw Cooper Kupp, touchdown and 100 plus. Puka Nacua was going off in that game, and that is a recent sample size going against the Rams. LA, all the way across the country, an NFC team went into Baltimore, ends up losing that game in overtime, 37-31. Not so much of a defense that game. I'm worried. If you're backing the Baltimore Ravens, it is an absolute hopes of a defense to show up and a defense to come out strong. And I don't know if you can always rely on that, especially against Patty Mahomes, especially with Patty Mahomes 1 game away from a Super Bowl. You're getting 4.5 points with Patrick Mahomes in a game where he's 1 win away from Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas, with the sprinkles on top of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and the whole rest of the narrative and the whole rest of the gang. And let's not forget who's coming to town. Sean Smith. Who is Sean Smith? Everyone asking, who is Sean Smith? Well, if you don't know, now you know. Sean Smith, the head officiator, and his crew. Since 2017, home teams have won at a 55% rate. With Sean Smith, it drops to 40%. Absolutely unreal. There is no man in the league who has a higher percentage of win totals or a higher percentage of an away team winning, the road team walking away with a win, than Sean Smith and his crew. So you got the sprinkles of Taylor Swift. You know Roger Goodell and the NFL are in the Chiefs' corner. You know Sean Smith is now the head officiator. You know Patrick Mahomes is 1 game away from the Super Bowl. You know Patrick Mahomes is an underdog. And it just feels like everyone's talking about the Ravens defense. Everyone's talking about how this is the big game for Lamar. I'm flipping the script. We're turning the turntables. Give me the Chiefs plus 4.5. I don't want to do it, but I need to do it. The fact that they can lose this game by a field goal or lose the classic 21-17 game if it's a low-scoring match like that. 21-17 Ravens win, you're covering with the 4.5. Anytime touchdown scores. Travis Kelce's played 20 playoff games. He's scored 18 touchdowns. Back against the wall, on the road, you go to your GOAT. You're Super Bowl. You're 1 game away from the Super Bowl. Give me a Travis Kelce anytime touchdown today in Baltimore. What else? What else do we have? Also, when Mahomes has been a dog in a 6-point teaser, 11-0 against the spread. So you might as well take Mahomes, slap him up 10 in a teaser, get plus 10.5, and pick one other leg. Why not? If you know one leg's going to go through the hoop, you might as well slap it with another one. Maybe tease down the over in San Fran. Tease up the Lions. Tease down the Niners. Something, whatever floats your boat. Because Patrick Mahomes in a 6-point teaser as an underdog is an 11-0 against the spread. And not to mention as an underdog straight up against the spread, 9-1-1. My God, hold the phone. Give me Mahomes. He's said it before. Would you rather be the hometown hero and win the big game at home at Arrowhead? Or would you rather go on the road and suck the life out of a stadium and be the villain? And he said, there's nothing like being the villain. Give me the Chiefs plus 4.5. Give me a Travis Kelce. Go to your GOAT. 1 game away from the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, I can see the camera pan into the goddamn box now with Brittany and Taylor and the whole rest of the fucking gang. Give me a Travis Kelce. Give me a Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. Who else? I got to take my guy. I got to take the dog. Feed the man. We have some props in this game as well. That's powered by our anytime touchdown scores that we're going to get to. Powered by Fliff. We're going to look over some props powered by Rhythm. Some props. We're getting some analysis over from the fellas at Rhythm. Give me an Isaiah Pacheco anytime touchdown. Feed the man. I saw his carries are over under 14.5. Might have to dabble a little bit with that. Like I said, Kansas City needs to lean on the ground game today a little bit more. A little bit more. Everyone's buzzing up about, the Texans defense. They're definitely the Ravens defense is definitely feeling themselves last week after shutting out the Texans offense. No touchdowns for the Texans offense and the rookie of the year. I mean, wasn't that as expected? You have a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach taking a trip on the road against the 1 seed. That's no sunshine and rainbows, and that's no Patrick Mahomes. I'll tell you that right now. That's no number 15. As Patrick Mahomes seeks his 3rd Super Bowl at the age of 28, we have the Chiefs plus 4.5. Chat, how are we feeling this morning? Drop some of your favorite anytime touchdown scores. Bo707, I feel you. Coach Abiosa, Marcus Valdez-Scantling, anytime touchdown, it's time. Don't hate that. Deep in the lab with that. 2 great defenses. I don't care. Give me the over. Sharp action? Is it sharp action? And long shot touchdown for this game, Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham Jr., anytime touchdown. Talk about a guy going to your GOAT. Big game, big moment, big name, big player. Give me Odell Beckham Jr., anytime touchdown. You go to your GOAT. We've seen this man in the playoffs before. First touchdown in Super Bowl, 55, 56. First touchdown in SoFi. Odell Beckham Jr. long shot plus 400 anytime touchdown. I love it. Over the past 3 seasons, the Chiefs of Kansas City have allowed the most rushing touchdowns to quarterbacks. I haven't taken a Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown, but I figured I would message that to the people here this morning who are here in the chat. So just something to keep an eye on. The Kansas City Chiefs of Kansas City have allowed the most rushing touchdowns to quarterbacks in the past 3 seasons. Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco touchdown. Odell Beckham Jr. long shot. I took Gus Edwards last week. We went 4 for 6 with anytime touchdown scores. One of them that missed, of course. First goddamn game of the day, Gus Edwards, anytime touchdown. So then all week I went back and forth in my head. Well, now if I take a Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown and I watch the Gus bus drive one powered up the middle, I'm going to be sick to my stomach. And if I continue to ride Gus Edwards and I watch Lamar score again a bunch of times, I can almost live with that. So with that being said, the boys also sprinkled a little Gus Edwards anytime touchdown. Around even, I think it was plus 110, plus 115. But like I said, our main anytime touchdown scores, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco, and a long shot with Odell Beckham Jr. But keep an eye out on Lamar and Gus. That Kansas City defense, though, in the red zone, nothing to be played with. And that's going to get to our props right now. By Rhythm. Rhythm props. Right here. We got some inspo. This is what we're rocking with. Oi. All right. We got some Rhythm props. They're giving us the edge. Here, they're giving us some info. Passing yards, I'm going to go under. Under. Lamar Jackson. 211.5. Feed me the under. 211.5. I think that just dropped down too. So give me the under. There is a massive edge on Lamar Jackson's under rushing yards. That's crazy. But I'm going to rock with the under passing yards. Because I can't get behind, even though it's probably the most public prop of Championship Sunday, I am not going to sit here and take Lamar Jackson's under rushing yards. Even though there's a massive edge. I'm not taking it. Give me the under with Lamar Jackson passing yards. These are some props we're sprinkling. Hold tight. Hold tight. How about that's just our official prop for Rhythm? Is under 211 for Lamar Jackson. And, they're also saying there's a massive edge on Lamar Jackson's under rushing yards, but I'm not taking it. And Odell Beckham over 20.5 receiving yards. Over 20.5 receiving yards. But other props I am smitten by in this game are, if you have your daily fantasy out, I love Justin Tucker over 1.5 field goals. Love that prop. Like we just said, Chiefs defense in the red zone, pretty frisky. Our prop, powered by Rhythm, Lamar Jackson, under 211. 211 passing yards. Under 211.5. 211.5. Had trouble getting that one out. Under 211.5. I also like Patrick Mahomes over 4.5 rushing attempts and Isaiah Pacheco 60-plus rushing yards. Feel pretty good about all those. Obviously, Travis Kelce will also be in the mix. He's going for a record today for most consecutive playoff games with 5+ receptions. Gosh, the statistics keep just popping into my mind. They keep popping in. Let me double check that. Let me double check for the audience, for the people in the back. Like I said, Justin Tucker over 1.5 field goals. Patrick Mahomes over 4.5 rushing attempts. Lamar Jackson under 211.5 passing yards. That's what's going to be powered by Rhythm. They also said they're two of their favorite props of the afternoon for the game number 1. Odell Beckham over receiving yards. And Lamar Jackson, I'm not taking it under rushing because I feel like that is just a psycho, lunatic thing to do. But if that hits, that's sharp action. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, so let me cut the music for this one for the people in the back. Put it in the pipe and smoke it. Travis Kelce's going for a record, tying the record with Mr. Julian Edelman today. He stands at 12 straight games of 5+ receptions in the playoffs. Julian Edelman is sitting at 13. So with that being said, Travis Kelce's receptions, I believe, is sitting at 6. But if you got the same game parlay out, slap a little 5+ receptions for Travis Kelce, never hurt nobody. Like I said, Pacheco 60+ rushing yards, even though we're going against a frisky Ravens defense, don't hate it. Justin Tucker over 1.5 field goals, don't hate it. I was about to say Jackson Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes over 4.5 rushing attempts. Don't hate it. And that's basically going to wrap up for game number 1. We ran through all the narratives. We ran through all the scripts. Like I said, if you just joined, teams that have played Josh Allen in the playoffs who have won the following week have lost every time, 0-4. But then you flip the page. Andy Reid going against former assistants in the playoffs, 5-0. Then you flip the page. Mahomes as an underdog, as we know, 9-1-1 against the spread, 8-3 straight up as a dog. Flip the page. Then we have Sean Smith coming to town to possibly save Roger Goodell and save the NFL in hopes of them making just millions and millions of more extra doll hairs for Taylor Swift, bringing her to Vegas. Sean Smith's crew. Let me pull up the exact statistic because it's just fucking out of this world. Sean Smith's crew, the head officiator today in Baltimore. God, where is it? Where are you? He has a certain, he was like, I'm trying to find the exact record of Sean Smith's crew for road teams the past 3 seasons. Regardless, like I said earlier, 55% of home teams in the last 3 seasons have won at home, 55% hit rate. with Sean Smith's crew, 40% brings it all the way down. Also, I think teams against the spread at home are like 13, 29, and 2. Somewhere around there. I forget exactly. But I think when Sean Smith's crew is officiating. Also, fun fact, Sean Smith's crew was Monday Night Football when the Eagles took a trip to Arrowhead. They won that game outright. So, I don't know if there's phone calls being made behind the scenes. How do you like Kelsey over 63.5? Don't hate it. I'd be lying if I said I hated it. Also, first touchdown, I'm feeling something in my plums about Rashee Rice. If you want a long shot, Patty Mahomes to get frisky with the feet, don't tell anyone I told you. All right, plenty of rain in the forecast as the Chiefs take on the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship game Sunday. Chiefs total is at 19.5. Yep, he needs 5 receptions. Having Gus Edwards over half receptions is the move. Wow. Over a half a reception is the move. Who should I pair CMC free square with? Like I said, Patrick Mahomes, rushing attempts, don't hate. Justin Tucker, over 1.5 field goals, do not hate. Travis Kelce, probably going to get frisky today. Don't hate his reception, sitting at 6. All right. Chiefs plus 4.5 was our final decision. Like I said, pick anything with a 6-point teaser. Slap a 2-leg 6-point teaser. Because Patrick Mahomes, when he's been a dog, is 11-0 against the spread in a 6-point teaser. So take the Chiefs plus 10.5. And then if you want, take the over or under, boost it down or up. Take the Lions up to 13.5. Take the Niners down to 1. Or maybe lower that total and take the over in San Fran. Anyway, just keep it simple. As we roll to game number 2. Game number 2. As we mentioned, the Cinderella story. Going against the team of destiny. Last week, Brock Purdy and the Niners, they got outplayed. Brock Purdy, honestly, lucky that the first play of the game, first pass attempt of the game, wasn't taken to the house for 6. Jared Goff, we've seen him in a Super Bowl before. We've seen him turn around the city of Detroit. We've seen Dan Campbell put his ball sack on the table numerous amounts of times in the 2023-2024 NFL season. It means something to him, man. Dan Campbell, Kyle Shanahan. Dan Campbell, the best coach in the NFL against the spread. The man is a genie. He's a genius. Does he know the spread? Maybe. Then on the other side, Kyle Shanahan as a favorite at home in the playoffs. 5-0 straight up. Has never lost. He has never lost straight up as a home favorite in the playoffs. This is why you come. This is why we gather here today to talk the narratives. We've been in the lab. We're in so deep we can't even see. We got the gloves on. We got our goggles on. Jared Goff, inside, outside, different scenario, different situation. However, the weather today shouldn't play a factor in San Fran. But don't kill the messenger. Jared Goff inside, 36-17 against the spread. Probably the most profitable quarterback in the National Football League when playing indoors. Outside, in his career, 34, 35-2. So below 500. 36-17 against the spread inside. I don't know what this dude's deal is. If that's just somehow just by chance, maybe not. It's too big of a sample size. But 36-17 against the spread inside. Below 500 against the spread outside. That's pretty unreal. That is pretty unreal. Dan Campbell, as we mentioned, the best over the last 3 seasons has the best record against the spread, 40-25. 40-25 against the spread in his career. And that was in one year where they dropped 10 losses. They started 1-10. His first season. The Lions have been the most profitable team against the spread in the NFL since Dan Campbell became the head coach. Talk about a man for the people, for the city. When you really break down this game, the team of destiny, the 49ers, the Cinderella story, Detroit. Brock Purdy, Jared Goff. You'd roll, I feel like, Jared Goff's slight edge. Then you have Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. On the other side, Christian McCaffrey. You have Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, Jameson Williams. Tight end, Laporta, Kittle, Hutchinson, Bosa. Offensive lines are definitely there. Defenses, the secondary for the Lions, the only thing that scares me. However, they've been showing up a little bit. They've definitely been showing up a little bit. We saw C.J. Gardner-Johnson's interception to start last game against Baker. At times, the Bucs moved that ball. I think the main focus and the main point of attack for this Lions team today is to stop the run. All eyes are on McCaffrey. The Niners can't play from behind. If the Lions jump out to a lead to start this game, it's already shaky. It's already shaky. Under Kyle Shanahan, that's 49ers are 0-39 when down 8 points or more in the fourth quarter. That is unreal. That is unreal. 0-39 in the fourth quarter when down 8 points or more. It's literally a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. A touchdown, a stop, and a field goal. They've never won one time. 0-39. Dude, this is wild. The guy who was crying last week, they're literally doing a full-blown interview on. That's crazy. That's awesome. So, with that being said, when talking about the narratives and the script with the logo color and everyone and their mother, the whole talk of the town is Niners, Ravens, Super Bowl. Can it be that easy? Can it be that simple today that you can put your house, that you could take out a loan and smack in a 2-leg parlay for -110, -115, whatever your book, whatever your sports book is offering? Could it be that easy? Could it be that easy? Z-Moran 13. Could it be that easy? Could everyone and their mother today smack in with the buttons, Niners, Ravens, moneyline parlay? In a perfect world, -115, come to Papa. Could it be that easy? I don't think so. One of these favorites are losing. It could be both favorites. I don't know at this point what to believe, what to think. All I know is we've seen these teams so far in the playoffs. We know who Jared Goff is. We know who Patrick Mahomes is. We know Lamar Jackson, and we know Brock Purdy. The Niners can't play from behind. The Lions are buzzing. Team of destiny, Cinderella story. 9 times out of 10, I'm rolling Cinderella story. Give me the Lions +7.5. I know the sharp action, the sharp money, the sharp people are taking the Niners -7, -7.5. But I don't know how you could watch last week's game and watch the Niners get outplayed and potentially should not even be playing today. This game could have been in Detroit. We could be looking at an NFC North matchup between the Packers and the Lions today. Instead, we're still in San Fran because Anders Carlson wanted to go to Cancun early. We're still in San Fran. And the Lions +7.5, you're literally on your hands and knees begging. Praying to a God. Begging that the Niners come in a bounce back spot this week. You're hoping. that, the Niners show up and play better than they did last week to cover a 7.5-point spread. You know the last time a team was +7 in an AFC championship? It was the Cincinnati Bengals taking a trip where Arrowhead became Burrowhead, and the Cincinnati Bengals won outright, +7. Today, Lions +7.5. Could we see the impossible? Could we see Laporta? Could we see Gibbs? Could we see Jameson Williams? Deep ball, reverse sweep, flea flickers, Dan Campbell, ball sack on the table, everything on the line for Detroit. Lions. Give me the Lions +7.5. This reminds me of the Chicago Cubs run. Runs in the past where teams of Cinderella became teams of destiny. Give me Jared Goff and the fellas to buzz today +7.5. I'm not going to sit back and watch Brock Purdy. God forbid Deebo Samuel gets hurt again and misses time in this game, and he can't find a slant route across the middle with a guy who isn't open without a guy within 20 yards of him. Because it seems like last week he looked like J.J. McCarthy in the national championship. Brock Purdy looked like he could not throw the football more than 12 yards down the field. And I know his statistics and his QBR and his yards per pass attempt and yada, yada, yada has been high all season. And he's top amongst the league in all those statistics. But going off of last week in the big games, the last big game, we've seen Brock Purdy this year in 2 big games. In 2 big games. Niners-Ravens is free. See? See what's in the chat? See what's in the chat? Niners and Ravens are free. Is it a perfect world? Can it be that easy? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. That's why I'm taking both dogs with the spread. +4.5, we could see Mahomes win outright. Lions +7.5, I'm going to be rooting. You can bet your sweet ass I'll be rooting for them outright. Because we've seen Brock Purdy in 2 big games this year. One on Christmas, prime time. At home, they get blown out. And last week at home, prime time, coming off the bye, game they should have lost. Should have 1,000% lost. And if Aaron Jones can get the juices flowing against this Niners front, what the hell is Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery going to do? These are the things when you peel back the layers, and you just keep peeling and peeling and peeling. You got to think a little outside here. Just really break it down. Really break it down. Goff, Purdy, Destiny, Cinderella. We're biting off kneecaps. Shanahan, Campbell. Give me the Lions +7.5. Give me the Lions +7.5. Give me a Jahmyr Gibbs anytime touchdown and a Brandon Ayuk anytime touchdown. You know why? Because the Lions secondary, like I said, it scares me. I would love to back a Deebo Samuel anytime touchdown, even though he's 100% healthy, even though he's 100% good to go. I still can't trust his availability 100% on the field because we know in the first drive he could come out after 1 tackle and be limping. Brandon Ayuk, anytime touchdown, did not score last week. I feel like the juices get flowing a little bit more with the wide receivers. With Deebo back, Brandon Ayuk, the secondary, like I said, has struggled for the Detroit Lions. Give me Brandon Ayuk anytime touchdown. And on the other side of the football, a Jahmyr Gibbs anytime touchdown. Our first touchdown scores. Game 1, Rashee Rice. Game 2, I really want to go long shot with Jameson Williams or Sam Laporta. Or Sammy Laporta. I think the Lions strike first. Strike first, Lions. Get pressure on Purdy. Strike first, Lions. Baltimore-Detroit Super Bowl is what we need. That would be numbies. That would be numbies. That would be something special. So if you're just joining in, This is our final stream from this spot of the regular, of the postseason. We started this show this season. First episode, I believe, was week 3. We've been buzzing in here. It's been absolutely unreal, electric. Just the beginning. Breaking down the games, talking it with you guys, shooting the shit, breaking down the narratives, breaking down the scripts. The energy has always been buzzing. And now today, we gather here together for a championship Sunday with Patty Mahomes taking a trip to Baltimore. Either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Then we have Jared Goff taking a trip to the Bay. Just feed me the dogs, let them bark loud, let them off the leash. Chiefs plus 4.5, Lions plus 7.5. Dan Campbell, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff. In a sense, we're taking both vets against the rookies. Lamar Jackson, never been to an AFC championship. Brock Purdy, he's still new to this game. Because last year he was in an NFC championship and got knocked out in the first drive. Like I said, the Chiefs can play from behind if need be. The Ravens often like to blow leads, have the ability of blowing leads. Also, can Lamar, when his back's against the wall and you force him to throw the football, can he come back from a lead? Jared Goff and the Lions, you know they'll always be in it. They'll always grind to the very last second. The San Francisco 49ers went down 8 points in the fourth quarter are 0-39 in Shanahan's career. I feel good about these games. If Mahomes shows up and the Ravens defense is asleep in the tiniest bit, Taylor Swift and the Kansas City Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl 58. And that's if there's a little tweak in that Ravens defense. If they show up a little asleep today. And if Patrick Mahomes is buzzing. If the Lions jump out to a lead, and they are this Purdy forced to throw from the start, Lions buzzing. We got points in our corner. We have points on our side. We have gentlemen who have been here before. Lions plus 7.5. Chiefs plus 4.5. Rashee Rice first touchdown. Sam Laporta first touchdown. Those are our first touchdowns locked in. Let's get to our community parlay where we pick our 4 gentlemen. 2 from each game. I've already locked in a few. I locked in Pacheco, Kelsey, Gibbs, Ayuk. I locked in Pacheco, Gus Edwards, Gibbs, Ayuk. Let's lock in a community touchdown parlay where we put $100 on it and give it back to the chat. Ayuk legacy game. Come on. This is going to be unreal. This is going to be unreal. Pre-game just now. Video just came out. Dude, do you imagine if this comes back to bite him? Travis Kelce enabled for Patrick Mahomes to warm up. Just threw all Justin Tucker stuff off to the side while Justin Tucker was warming up. All right. No way Chiefs win without Kadarius Toney. So true. So true. Zach Frogga, Lamar, Kelce, Gibbs, Kittle. Could that just be the sharp action? Could that be sharp action by Zach Frogga? Kid seems to be in the lab. Brock Purdy runs it in. Drop your favorite anytime touchdown scores into the chat right now. right now so we can put $100 on it and then give it back to 3 people who drop their favorite touchdown scores into the chat. So if it's plus 1,500, we're going to give away $500 to 3 people. Like we said, some of the guys that we've already talked about: Odell Beckham, Gus Edwards, Travis Kelce, Pacheco, Gibbs, Ayuk. So in the chat now: Debo, OBJ, Bateman. Kelce, Gibbs, McCaffrey. I mean, McCaffrey being minus 300 might as well not be in the lay. Maybe a sprinkle. Maybe a sprinkle. Luke Orisi, Kelce, Gibbs, McCaffrey. Laporta is a lock. All right, so let me write these shitbags down. This Anytime Touchdown Community Parlay is powered by Fliff. 4 Anytime Touchdown scores. We're going to put 100 bones on it, give it back to 3 people in the chat. So people are really liking Kelce, as am I. People are really liking Gibbs and Kittle. Four tight ends: Kelce, Andrews, Laporta, Kittle. I mean, tight ends have been eating in the playoffs. If you look at last week, Kelce scores 2. Kincaid has scored. Cade Otton scored. Laporta scored the week before. Dallas Goedert scored the week before. Kittle scored. Not Andrews, though. Yeah, not Andrews. But, like, what would we take? Likely instead? I kind of like Travis Kelce, Kittle, Lamar, and Gibbs, even though it just feels so... Lamar just seems too good to be true to me. He seems a little too good to be true for me. He scored twice last week. He's still a little plus chick. There's a risk with taking Gibbs. What if we did a little long shot for the people? What if we did Kelce, OBJ, Jameson Williams, and Kittle? Kelce, no OBJ. All right, OBJ's out. He doesn't have to be in it. So we like Kelce, Kittle. Kelce, Kittle are in. We're all in with Kelce, Kittle. Kelce, Kittle. Who are the other 2 gentlemen we add in? Drop into the chat right now. We need 2 other gentlemen to drop in. Between these 2 games. Justice Hill, Niners defense. We have Kelce, Kittle, Kelce, Kittle, Kelce, Kittle so far. We could go Gus Edwards. Laporta. Travis Kelce, Gus Edwards, Kittle, Laporta.
Justice Hill, Lamar, St. Brown, Kittle, Valdez, Scantling, MVS. Really high on. Chat loves MVS. Rice and Andrews. All right, we're going Travis Kelce, Gus Edwards, George Kittle, and Gibbs. 2 tight ends, 2 running backs. That makes sense. The whole world's on Lamar Jackson. If he scores, great. But Gus is their goal line guy, their power back. He had, 13 rushing touchdowns this season. Gus Edwards, goal line guy. These are solid odds. So our community touchdown parlay, 2 tight ends, 2 running backs. Game number 1, Travis Kelce, 18 touchdowns in his last 20 playoff games alongside Gus Edwards, the Gus Bus. Game number 2, George Kittle. Keep that scoring train going from last week. And last but not least, Jahmyr Gibbs. Also scored last week. How do we decide who gets the money? We roll it. We spin a wheel. With everyone who's in the chat. And if that comes home, what were those odds on Fliffity? Fliff? 2 running backs, 2 tight ends. All right.
Plus 1900.
Awesome. All right. Kelce, Edwards, Kittle, Gibbs. Oh. Come on. Dude. I don't know whatever happened to the speaker. So, community touchdown parlay. If you want to sprinkle on it yourself, Travis Kelce getting in. Gus Edwards getting in. George Kittle finding the end zone. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, dual threat. Receive it over the top. Run it. Gibbs. Show it to us. Massive day. Massive. So we're staring down the barrel of an over-under at 43.5 in game 1, 4.5 live spread. We saw it open at 3, went up to 3.5, went to 4, went to 4.5. Steve, your Bluetooth is on. Stay hot. So the Chiefs, Chiefs plus 10.5 and over 37.5 does not seem like a bad tease. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Gonna write that puppy down. Chiefs plus 10.5 over 37.5. For the second game for a teaser, Lions plus 13.5 and under Going to push up that total. So the under 58.5. So many points. So game 1 teaser. Chiefs plus 10.5. Over 37.5. Lions plus 13.5. Under 58.5. 6-point teasers. As we said, Patrick Mahomes is 11-0 in a 6-point teaser. So the props for game 1, like I said, over 4.5 rushing attempts for Mahomes, over 1.5 field goals for Justin Tucker, 60-plus rushing yards for Pacheco. Like I said, don't hate Travis Kelce at 5-plus, 6-plus receptions. Pacheco's definitely going to have to get frisky with his feet today. Kansas City's going to lean on him for the ground game for sure. For sure. So game number 1, Chiefs plus 4.5. Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco anytime touchdown. Long shot. Odell Beckham Jr. anytime touchdown. Game number 2, Lions plus 7.5. Brandon Ayuk anytime touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs anytime touchdown. Our long shot for that game, Jamison Williams. So we have 2 touchdown scores from each game. Not the same as the community touchdown parlay. We have 1 long shot for each game. Just said the teasers for both games, plus 10.5 for the Chiefs, over 37.5 for the game, plus 13.5 for the Lions, under 58.5 for the game. We're cooking with gas. We are cooking with gas. Our community touchdown parlay is Travis Kelce, Gus Edwards, George Kittle, and Jahmyr Gibbs. We're buzzing. We're buzzing. If you're looking at the daily fantasy, I was throwing in some things last night. I took Kittle over 58.5 receiving yards, Travis Kelce over 6 receptions, Sam Laporta over 48.5 receiving yards. 3 tight ends. Kittle receiving yards, Kelce receptions, Laporta receiving yards. Little sneaky one here. Jamison Williams over receiving yards, Brock Purdy under passing yards, Jahmyr Gibbs over fantasy score. And then the last one, Patrick Mahomes over 4.5. I love this one. Patrick Mahomes over 4.5 rushing attempts. Justin Tucker over 1.5 field goals made. Lamar Jackson under 214.5 passing yards. I love that one. Patrick Mahomes over 4.5 rush attempts. Justin Tucker over 1.5 field goals made. Lamar Jackson under 214.5 passing yards. Love that one. You can do that on MGM. You can take in a same game parlay Justin Tucker over 1.5 field goals made. I think they may have rush attempts for Mahomes. I'm not sure. And then under 214 for Lamar passing yards. Yes. So then, what are we rocking and rolling with? Let's see what other props we like. Let's see what other props we are rolling with. We were looking at some rhythm edges earlier. Edges on the props. Wow. Little sharp action on Jared Goff under 35.5 pass attempts. Jared Goff under 35.5 pass attempts. If they're using the ground game, if they're capitalizing on the ground game, trying to bleed the clock, trying to control the time of possession with David Montgomery, with Jahmyr Gibbs. We saw what Aaron Jones could do against this front four last week in San Fran. What can the two-headed monster with Dan Campbell's ball sack on the table do this week? So we like Brock Purdy under passing yards. A little frisky one, like I said, Jamison Williams over his receiving yards. Jared Goff under his pass attempts. We're so deep in the lab right now, we can't even see. It's dark. Someone grab the flashlight. Because we can't even see. It's so deep in the lab. What else do we have cooked? What else are we cooking with gas? Like I said, I don't hate Brandon Ayuk to have himself a day. Like I said, this Detroit Lions secondary is what scares me. It was a kicker kind of week last week. Kickers were buzzing with their fantasy scores, or their kicking points, shall I say. Not fantasy scores. Last week, the kicking points were getting smacked around the town stairs. I don't hate it this week. I could see, like I said, Justin Tucker over 1.5 field goals. I love that. Jake Moody, maybe his kicking points. Don't hate it. We're going to see these defenses in the red zone, really trying to put on a clinic to keep them out for 6. 6 points are very valuable in championship games. And when you have Justin Tuckers and Harrison Buckers at the end of halves and in big moments, in fourth quarters, you can see the kickers buzz a little bit. Don't hate Brandon Ayuk's fantasy score. If we expect him to possibly get in the end zone, same with George Kittle. Like I said, this secondary for the Detroit Lions scares me. If you have a pen and paper out to keep track with these props, what we're talking about, you might want to take it out. Like I said, Mahomes rushing attempts. This is for game 1. Justin Tucker, field goals. Over 1.5 made. Isaiah Pacheco's rushing yards. Remember, Travis Kelce is 1 game shy of having 13 straight games in the playoffs with 5+ receptions, which would be tying the record with Julian Edelman. So today, if you're building out your same game parlay, I don't hate 5+. The DFS apps, they have 6+. Lamar Jackson under passing yards. I like it. Those are 4 props for the first game. Maybe 5 if you're including Kelce. But Mahomes rush attempts, Justin Tucker over field goals. Pacheco's rushing. Lamar Jackson under passing yards. Second game, Brock Purdy under passing yards. Jared Goff under pass attempts. That's 2. Like I said, don't hate either Kittle or Ayuk fantasy score. Go hand in hand. Go hand in hand there. So you can count that as 3. And then I also, like I said, I like Jahmyr Gibbs' fantasy score. And I like all the kickers. I like Jake Moody's fantasy points. Or kicking points, shall I say. Kicking points. So 2 kickers we're staring down the barrel of, Tucker and Moody. Tucker and Moody sitting in a tree. Kicking field goals for the NFC and AFC. Brock Purdy. The 2 young guns. Purdy and Lamar under passing yards. Kittle and Kelce definitely have a good rhythm and rhyme to it. Kittle and Kelce's fantasy points has a good rhyme to it. So Tucker and Moody, Purdy, Lamar, Kittle, Kelce, Goff, under pass attempts, freaky. But when you get so deep in the lab, things get weird. And one of the weird things that comes out of it is Jared Goff under pass attempts, which is sitting at 35.5. Chris Jones for a sack. It's a little frisky taking a player to get a sack against Lamar Jackson, which is like you're trying to tackle like a bunny rabbit, it seems, back there. He's literally dancing around, running around like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. How are you expected to feel confident with a sack prop? Sack prop. How can you feel confident in a sack prop with Lamar Jackson running around the Christmas tree? We're boosted live on Fliff right now. Plus 2,500 for Pacheco, Kelsey, Ayuk, Gibbs. Let's go. Or wait, no, Gus. Excuse me. Pacheco, Kelsey, Ayuk, Gus. Or no. Wait, maybe it is Gibbs. I don't know at this point. Pacheco, Kelsey. Yeah, Pacheco, Kelsey, Ayuk, Gibbs. That was our original 4 touchdown scores, but the community parlay that we put 100 bones on was Kelsey, Edwards, Kittle, Gibbs. Either way. Perfect. So we got 2 parlays riding. We have 2 parlays riding. We have 2 parlays riding. Oh, shit. We have 2 parlays riding. Might go take that myself. I'm going to go hammer that myself. A little boost on Fliff. I'm going to go hammer that. Boosts. All right, boosted. How do I take this? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Perfect. I'm going to put what is in my account here. Let's go. Just took it. Just placed. Hell yeah. I just took it. There was a $20 max. So it's $20 for 520 on Pacheco, Kelsey, Ayuk, Gibbs. That would be for all the glory. Boosted to plus 2,500. That would be sick. 20 bones for 520 would be a nice little side piece. So we have plus 2,500, Isaiah Pacheco, Travis Kelsey, Brandon Ayuk, Jahmyr Gibbs. The boost, plus 2,500 on Fliff. Let's go, dude. That's fire. Didn't even know that they were doing that. We'll live with that. We'll live with that. So we're riding 2 parlays for touchdown scores. We got Gus Edwards, Travis Kelsey, George Kittle, Jahmyr Gibbs, 1 guy from each team. And then on Fliff, under boosts, so you scroll down, under boosts, it's Isaiah Pacheco, Travis Kelsey, Jahmyr Gibbs, Brandon Ayuk. Don't hate it. 20 bones, as much as you can risk. That's the max, 20 bones. for 520. That would be electric. That would be a very nice way to spend Championship Sunday. On top of everything else, bringing home an extra 520 bones. A little extra 520 bones. All right, game one props. Locking in, locking in, locking in. Locking in, locking in. All right. Then we go over to here. We have 45 minutes till kickoff. We're going to do a full recap. I'm going to send out the link real quick. All right. So we're going to go through the final recap. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. We got 45 minutes till kickoff. A Championship Sunday, 2023, January 28th. 2 Sundays out from Super Bowl 58. Who the hell's going to be in there? We got grocery stores with cookie cakes of Niners, Ravens, Super Bowl 58. We have logo colors that have been the logo colors that everyone's called out about since October. People are on their hands and knees for their team to be mentioned in a logo color next year. 2024, there you go. 2023 season, 2024 now. AFC, NFC, Sunday championship. Mahomes, Baltimore, taking a trip. There's Taylor Swift. There's Sean Smith. There's Patrick Mahomes. Lamar in his first AFC championship game. Lamar getting his second playoff win last week. Teams who've beaten Josh Allen in the playoffs, 0-4 the following week. Andy Reid, 5-0, looking to go 6-0 against former assistants in the playoffs. Mahomes as a dog, straight up 8-3. The props in this game, what I am going to do, it's a win-win situation. I take the Chiefs, plus 4.5. Put a couple hundred bones on it. If they cover, great. If they don't, Taylor Swift goes home. I don't know if that can possibly be a scenario, though, today. It's hard to me to think with Sean Smith reffing and his crew, Roger Goodell earpieces in, Patrick Mahomes 1 game away, 1 win away from a Super Bowl that is in Las Vegas, Nevada, with the chance of millions and millions of dollars on the line with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. It is hard to get through my mind them not winning this game today. Nevertheless, we are taking plus 4.5. Plus 4.5 with the Chiefs. I have to do it. I don't want to do it. I need to do it. Chiefs plus 4.5. There will be an octopus in the Chiefs-Ravens game. I love where your head's at. I'll be taking the octopus and sweating it like we did last year at Super Bowl 57 when Jalen Hurts scored the touchdown and then took it for the octopus. We'll be doing the same this year for Super Bowl 58. There's nothing like sweating an octopus. There is nothing in this world like sweating an octopus. There's nothing in this world like sweating an octopus. Frank 025898. Tucker over 1.5 field goals. Love it. Kelsey, Tutty, love it. Pacheco over 59.5 rushing yards. Love it. Like we said, teasers, both games. For the first game, Chiefs plus 10.5, over 37.5. We love Justin Tucker over 1.5 field goals. We like Lamar Jackson under 211 passing yards. What else do we like? What else do we like? We like Pacheco with the rushing. Kansas City definitely going to lean on him today. The man's a dog. We all know that. Justin Tucker over 1.5 field goals. Second game, we're rolling with the Lions plus 7.5. What are the props? We like Brock Purdy under passing yards. We like Jake Moody kicking points. We like Brandon Ayuk or George Kittle fantasy score. And Jahmyr Gibbs fantasy score. But yes, Brandon Ayuk or George Kittle's fantasy score. Across the middle is usually pretty open. And I can't get behind Deebo Samuel, even though he's back and healthy. Even if he goes off today and goes crazy today, I can't put my faith in a man who has struggles with staying on the football field. So, Chiefs plus 4.5. Lions plus 7.5. Our anytime touchdown scores. Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco, anytime touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, anytime touchdown. Brandon Ayuk, anytime touchdown. Our community touchdown parlay, pretty similar. It's Kelsey Kittle, Gus Edwards, and Gibbs. That's our community touchdown parlay. We put $100 on it for $1,900. If you're here in the chat, we'll give it away to 3 people. Because we're all about giving back to the community. That helps us out and drops a follow here on the Twitch channel. We appreciate each and every single one of you guys, as today is the last stream of the season in this spot. We started this show this year. It's been buzzing. The community's been buzzing. It's been a great time each Sunday morning, breaking down the games, leaking scripts, cashing slips, every bet you want to know, every bet you need to know. Game number 2, Team of Destiny, Cinderella versus the Cinderella story. Just 2 unreal games. A lot of pressure on Lamar. Continuing to build the legacy possibly for Mahomes. Jared Goff looking to get back to his second Super Bowl. Are the Niners, the Team of Destiny, going to make it? Or is it going to continue with the Cinderella story? With Dan Campbell, with the Detroit Lions, the city of Detroit. Can't be all sunshine and rainbows. Can't be all sunshine and rainbows and just being able to wake up this morning, click 2 buttons, Ravens moneyline, Niners moneyline, and slap it in a parlay. Can't be that easy. Can't be that easy. First touchdowns. I'm glad you mentioned it. Rashee Rice. First touchdown in Baltimore. We're getting frisky with both dogs. Because that's what no one expects. Everyone expects the Ravens to come out and score right away. If they do, great. We live with it. If the Niners come out and score right away and it's McCaffrey, we wouldn't have taken it anyway. So why not go for glory? The final Sunday with multiple games on it of the year. We have 3 goddamn games left. of the NFL season. Our first touchdown scorers are Rashee Rice and Sam Laporta. Rashee Rice and Sam Laporta. We've ran through props for both games. We've ran through numbers, narratives, scripts, all else under the sun for both games. Game number 1 and game number 2. We gave our spread picks. We gave our teasers. We gave our props. We gave our anytime touchdowns. We gave our first touchdowns. Is there anything else on the board to go through? Fuck, we even went so deep that we took Jared Goff under pass attempts. We took Brock Purdy's under passing yards. We took Jahmyr Gibbs' fantasy score, Brandon Ayuk fantasy score. We need the Detroit Lions to come out and smack the Niners in the mouth quick. Like we said earlier, Kyle Shanahan 0-39 when down 8 points in the fourth quarter. We've seen the Baltimore Ravens on the other game, first game. If the Chiefs drop down early, there is still a possibility of the comeback, always with Mahomes in your corner. The opposite way around, this is why I feel comfortable with taking the Chiefs. You don't know that with Lamar. If the Chiefs go up 14-0 and Lamar's back's against the wall and he's holding the football and not getting rid of it downfield, ball game's over. But on the flip side, if the Ravens go up 14-0, Mahomes always has the possibility to come back. We saw earlier this year, Ravens jump out to a 24-9 lead against the Browns at home. They lose that game. Like we said, Patrick Mahomes, 8-2, when down 7 or more points in the playoffs. The only 2 losses, Tom Brady. Mahomes can have his back against the wall and go to his goats. Kelce, Rice, Pacheco, Edwards-Helaire, Valdez-Scantling, Hardman. This game was a thriller when they met back in 2021. Final score 36-35 in Baltimore. Chiefs lost that game by 1. Why? Because they fumbled in field goal position, game over, or else they would have won with a Bucker field goal by 2. We have 2 of the best ball games of the year on today to go to Super Bowl 58, to go to Las Vegas. We've seen Mahomes in the big games. We've seen Jared Goff make it to a Super Bowl. Can you trust Lamar? Can you trust Purdy? Tight ends today with Kelce, Andrews, Likely, Laporta, Kittle. Top tight ends in the league just putting on a showcase. Oh, gosh. We are buzzing this morning. The honest prediction is that either the Chiefs win or the Ravens win on a field goal with Justin Tucker. That's the script. That's the script. Either the Chiefs win or a Justin Tucker game-winning field goal. That feels like it's the script. That feels like it's the script. What other props can we dive into? What other props can we dive into? Tucker over 1.5 field goals. Mahomes over 4.5 rushing attempts. Kelce, this is a same game parlay piece. Kelce, 5+ receptions. Pacheco, 60+ rushing. These are all pieces of the puzzle, pieces of the pie. Lamar under. I got it at 214.5 passing yards. Apparently there's sharp action on Odell Beckham over receiving yards at 20.5. And I can't take this. But apparently sharp action under 63.5 rushing yards for Lamar. I'm not fucking sniffing that. But just wanted to say it to the people that the sharp action is OBJ over 20.5 and Lamar Jackson under 63.5 rushing. Again, I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that last one. So, just advising the people. So then game number 2. Game 2. Gibbs, fantasy score. Moody, kicking points. Goff, under pass attempts, which is 35.5. That just seems like a fucking psycho one. Brock Purdy, under passing yards. What was that again? It's like 274, I think. 274.5 passing yards. I'll sweat it. I'll sweat it. So, game number 1. Oh, and we want to take Ayuk's fantasy score. All right. So, game number 1 props. Justin Tucker over 1.5 field goals. Patrick Mahomes over 4.5 rushing attempts. This is a same game parlay piece. Travis Kelce, 5+ receptions. Isaiah Pacheco, 60+ rushing yards. Next one, Lamar Jackson under 214.5 passing yards. Sharp action is on Odell Beckham over 20.5 receiving yards. Lamar Jackson under 63.5 rushing yards. Game number 2. Again, I'm not taking that Lamar under. All right, game number 2. Gibbs, fantasy score. Jake Moody's kicking points. Jared Goff under 35.5 passing attempts. Brock Purdy under 274.5 passing yards. And Brandon Ayuk's fantasy score. Like I said, I also threw in a couple earlier. I did 3 tight ends. I did 3 tight end prop lay with Kittle over 58.5 receiving yards, Kelce 6+ receptions, and Sam Laporta 48.5, over 48.5 receiving yards. I also did another 3-legger. Jamison Williams over 29.5. Jamison Williams over 29.5 receiving yards. Brock Purdy under 276. And Jahmyr Gibbs fantasy score. And then the last one, under passing yards for Lamar, over Justin Tucker, Patrick Mahomes, over rush attempts. I am about to just put in a just kicker lay. A just kicker lay. So we have kicking points, field goals, kicker points, Moody. Are they going to offer some extra points maybe for the Lions? Wow, no kicker prop for Lions? There's no way. Oh, here we are. 2.5 extra points? That feels like a lot, but fuck it. All right, we're going to lock that in. So we have 11x because Bagley over 2.5 extra points is boosted. That's the one that scares me the most. But it's if I were to do three kicker props, over 6.5 kicking points for Butker, over 1.5 field goals made for Justin Tucker, Jake Moody over 7.5 kicking points, and then the extra leg over 2.5 extra points for Bagley. Is it boosted for Butker for extra points? MVS, a lot of people were talking about earlier, his receptions is at 1.5. 2.5 extra points for Butker seems like a lot. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna lock this in 11x. Kickers, baby. Tucker over 1.5 field goals made. That's my favorite. If you wanted to take that separately with your own lay, love it. Jake Moody over kicking points, 7.5. Then I also took Bagley over 2.5 extra points for the Lions, and then 6.5 over kicking points for Harrison Butker. We're deep in the lab today. We are swimming with the sharks. We are swimming with the sharks. First touchdown. Rashee Rice, first touchdown. And Sam Laporta, first touchdown. We just ran through props. We just ran through both games' props. Stay tuned if any get added. Lions plus 7.5. Chiefs plus 4.5. Teasers. Chiefs plus 10.5. Over 37.5. That's teaser number 1. Teaser number 2. Lions plus 13.5. Under 58.5. Anytime touchdown scores. Brandon Ayuk and Jahmyr Gibbs. And then game number 1, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco. And then our community touchdown parlay is Gus Edwards, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Jahmyr Gibbs. So we're riding 2 parlays there, even though I took the first guys that I just said straight. I took Kelce straight, Pacheco straight, Ayuk straight, Gibbs straight. We appreciate each and every single one of the follows here on the channel. We appreciate you. We have 24 minutes till kickoff. 24 minutes till kickoff. Will Lamar show up today? Obviously, big second half. Came out of the second half hot. But in his first AFC championship game, going into last week, he was 1-3, straight up in the playoffs. His one win came against Ryan Tannehill. Last week, his second win comes against a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach. I know everyone it was a glaze hour. It was a glaze hour for the Rookie of the Year. Props to C.J. Stroud. He's definitely the truth. He is him. But when you put him in that kind of atmosphere that he's never been in before, what are the odds against that defense that they struggle a little bit? Very, very high. We were on the Ravens last week. We were on the Texans the week before. AFC, we've kind of been on a nice little narrow path in the AFC. Now today we are rocking with plus 4.5 with the Chiefs. Hopefully they don't burn us because, to be honest, we were obviously last week we were on the Bills. So a little hypocritical here because the reason why we took the Ravens last week was because the entire public were on the Browns in the wild card and then the Texans in the divisional. The whole public was on the Browns in the wild card and then the Texans in the divisional. So then we were like, hold the phone. We're rolling with Baltimore because now everyone's hopping on the train with the Texans. Now fast forward to today. No one liked the Chiefs last week. And now suddenly people are in the talks. Even though I feel like this game's pretty split, a lot of talks about the Chiefs as well. Even though all over the TV, all over the scripts, all over the narratives is all Ravens, 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 Ravens. Everyone's blowing the smoke with the Ravens. Everyone loves the Ravens. Niners, Ravens, Niners, Ravens. Wake up, open your eyes, open your phone, sportsbook, Niners money line, Ravens money line. If it was that easy, in a perfect world, if that does come true today, congrats to everyone. Maybe Vegas will sink into the floor. But I just don't see that happening. I don't see how that comes true. the NFL might be banned if people from October saw the NFL logo color for the Super Bowl and said the Super Bowl is going to be Ravens Niners. There might be some allegations, some lawsuits, something going around. People might be backing off the NFL train a little bit if that narrative actually comes true that people have been pointing out for 3 or 4 months now, the Super Bowl being the Ravens and the Niners. That would be kind of bullshit. That would be horseshit. With that being said, like I said, Chiefs plus 4.5, Lions plus 7.5. I can't wait to root for the Lions, root for the Dogs, see some good football today, see some ball games played. Oh, yeah, 100%. The NFL loves controversy. And that's why Mahomes is a villain today, and everyone wants the Ravens. If you're on social media, you see that every day. All the highlights, all the edits of the Ravens, Lamar saving us. But we're rolling with the Chiefs. We're rolling with the Chiefs because I feel like more people than everyone is saying. I mean, I'll look at the splits right now. We're 20 minutes out. Let's look at the splits. I feel like more people are jumping on the Ravens than people are talking about. All right, here we go. A lot of bets coming in. A lot of bets coming in. 78% of the money line is on the Baltimore Ravens. So 62% of the bets on Ravens money line, but 64% of the spread is on the Chiefs. So, yeah, I mean, last week people were out on the Chiefs. Now this week we see on the spread people are in with the Chiefs. A little scary. Definitely a little scary. Definitely a little scary. We're just going to have to wait and see. We're just going to have to wait and see. Study for the test all week. Time to get the answers. All right. Game number 2. Once again, 74% of the money line is on San Fran because everyone's putting in their parlay of Niners money line, Ravens money line. Did you see the Super Bowl logo color? Did you see the supermarket cookie pies? Niners, Ravens script has it. As you can see with the splits, 78% or 76% of the money line on the Ravens, 74% of the money line on the Niners. But then on the flip side, the bets. So both bets that are being brought in, both bet slips, the bets on the spread are for the Chiefs and the Lions, while all the heavy money on the money line is on the Ravens and Niners. So, interesting spot. Interesting spot. Interesting spot. Anything can happen in the championship round, but who would I rather back? Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. Give me Patrick Mahomes. Who would I rather back? We saw last week the Niners got outplayed. In 7 days' time, is that going to completely change? Who knows? We know Debo was out for most of that game, yes. However, it's a championship game. Brock Purdy, spotlights are on. The spotlights are on. The spotlights are on. I'd rather back Jared Goff. He's been here before. The Cinderella story as well. Lions are buzzing. Lions are buzzing. Both offensive lines as well. Chiefs offensive line right now, buzzing. Lions offensive line right now, buzzing. Run games there for both teams. Pacheco, run games there. Gibbs, Montgomery, run games there. Defenses. Like I said, Lions defensive secondary scares me. Even though it's been showing up a little bit, it still scares me. Chiefs defense, getting slept on. The whole narrative, I hope that they're playing on the sirens in the locker room. Everyone's talking about the Ravens defense. No one's talking about the Chiefs defense. It does scare me. Like I said, people were off the Chiefs last week on the spread. Now they're on the Chiefs this week with the spread. That's usually not a good sign because like we said, we rolled with the Texans when the public was on the Browns. Then we rolled with the Ravens because then the public jumped on the Texans. Now here we are with last week, the public was on the Bills. And now the public this week is riding with the Chiefs on the spread. But it feels like everyone and their mother has that 2-leg parlay in with the Chiefs or with the Niners and the Ravens money line. 15 minutes till kickoff. 15 minutes till kick. Any other props? Drop any more plays into the chat. Anything else? First touchdown scorer for game number 1, Rashee Rice. Jump out to the early lead. Could come in the second quarter. I think both games may start out slow. I don't know. I don't see either one of these, or at least in the first game, I don't see either one of these teams jumping out and going right down the field. And if it's the Chiefs, you better watch out because the Ravens defense may be in for a long day. This Ravens defense let up 31 points to Matthew Stafford and the boys week 15. Feels like relying on a defense in the NFL anymore is not safe. Because we saw Aaron Jones run up and down the field last week against the Niners and Jordan Love sling the rock. So, like I said, I'll restate it. What's Gibbs going to do? What's Montgomery going to do? What's St. Brown, Laporta? More dominant weapons on the ground with the Lions O-line against that front four with the San Francisco 49ers. Hopefully the weather issue does not change matters. Like we said earlier, the Lions indoor averaging a little over 30 points per game in their last 13 games. Outdoor, 17 points per game. It drops 13 points. Hopefully that doesn't make a difference today. Hopefully the weather isn't a factor. Hopefully it's not a mental thing in the minds of Jared Goff and this offense. Hopefully that doesn't play a factor today. That their offense doesn't look flat because they're playing outside where football should be played. As we said earlier, Jared Goff is probably the most profitable quarterback in the NFL when he's playing inside. Outside, against the spread, he's below 500. Hopefully that's just all smoke. Hopefully that's just not going to make a dent in today's game in an NFC Championship game. I hope it wouldn't. I hope it really wouldn't. Whether they should be able to play this game wherever, whenever, and the Detroit Lions be able to show up. You know Dan Campbell is going to get the boys up for this one. He's going to get the boys up and rowdy for this one, for sure. Hopefully a lot of tape was watched last week of what the Packers did to manipulate that defensive side of the football for the San Francisco 49ers, where they found success, where the Lions can find success against that 49ers defense. Hopefully the boys were cooking in the lab the entire week, watching the Packers. What worked, what didn't, what on the defensive side of the ball, what pressures Purdy. A pick six would be something from the Lions today. A pick six would be something. Ravens-Niners can't be the script. It just can't. I can't get on board with that. I can't sit here and say, go parlay the Ravens and the Niners money line. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't root for that either. I'm not going to sit here and watch Taylor Swift do dances on the television and watch Dan Campbell put his ball sack on the table to not take both points. We got 10 minutes till kickoff. 3 games left, 2 championship games today. Championship Sunday. There is nothing like it. There is nothing like it. This time last year was in Philadelphia, watching the Eagles take down the San Francisco 49ers to go to Super Bowl 57. What a time it was to be alive. Went out after to watch the Chiefs-Bengals, to see who the Eagles were playing in the Super Bowl. That was an unreal ending in Arrowhead. A late hit, if you guys remember, pushes the Chiefs into field goal range for Bucker to hit the game-winning field goal. A late hit. This is unreal. To go to the Super Bowl. Chiefs, Ravens. I wouldn't hate Gus Edwards to score the first touchdown. I think it's going to be the Chiefs to rattle everyone. And that's why I picked Rashee Rice. Top tweet. The top tweet on my timeline on Twitter. Sportsbooks need the Chiefs to win. Good God. As a Ravens better with a -4.5. That doesn't sound good. Get your popcorn ready. Already fights going, breaking loose. 46 minutes before game time. Already fights on the field. It's my first time checking in. Patrick Mahomes and Justin Tucker beefing pregame? No way. Dude, no way.
He also helped lower drug costs, bring good jobs back home, and build affordable housing. Now he's running for the Senate.
Our economy, our democracy, our planet. This is why we fight.
I'm Adam Schiff, and I approve this message. Spectrum Business is made to work the way small business works. Made to deliver hacker-stopping, award-winning security technology. Made to protect against malware, ransomware, and spyware from anywhere.
Impressive.
Sure is. Made to safeguard smartphones, lock down laptops, and take care of tablets. Made to keep your business network, your business.
Mahomes kicked. So Tucker was practicing like extra points or whatever down on the goal line where Mahomes was warming up, and he set up his kicker stand, and like Mahomes literally, as soon as Tucker went back, he just like kicked it. Dude, this game is going to be electric. So we basically wrapping up. We wrapping up. All right.
What did I spend on groceries this month? But yeah, when the guys pay for dinner,
Want faster, easier banking? You can with Wells Fargo.
Kansas City's Patrick Mahomes, a player everyone is fearful to face. And today he's ready to spar with the best player in the league this season, Baltimore's Lamar Jackson, for the AFC Championship.
That would be unreal. Game's already juicing. Game's already flowing. Roquan Smith looks like Ray Lewis in the middle of everyone.
I guess stated, as anybody in the NFL, no, be clear, he is appreciated.
This game is going to be unreal. This game's going to be unreal. So Justin Tucker over 1.5 field goals. Mahomes over 4.5 rushing attempts. Kelsey 5+ receptions. Pacheco 60+ rushing yards. Lamar under passing yards. Odell Beckham over 20.5 receiving yards. Props, props, props. Super Bowl 58 on the line. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Patrick Mahomes taking a trip to play Lamar in the first AFC Championship. Something else. Something else. Taylor Swift in Baltimore. Will she make it to Vegas? Roger Goodell will probably make the call. Any first touchdowns? Rashee Rice first touchdown for game number 1. Sam Laporta for game number 2. Oh shit, I forgot to tweet it. First TD. Romo on the mic. Romo on the mic. Nothing like Romo in the fucking... Nothing like watching Romo just document a whole entire game with Mahomes. Unreal. I can already tell Romo is going to get on my nerves. Dude, Romo, you can just tell how the game's going to go based off of Romo's sense of what he's calling, what he's predicting. Romo's literally in the booth with his headset on, with the script literally in front of him, with what's going to happen, who's going to win, who's going to score. He's always like, oh, yeah, and be on the lookout for so-and-so. And like, next play, call it. Or next play, touchdown. Yeah, I really feel like if the Pittsburgh Steelers can score a touchdown on this next drive, they'll really have a chance in this one. The Bills were up 21-0 in Buffalo. Next thing you know, it was 21-17. Dude, Romo is a rat. He's always giving life to the teams who are down or the teams are out. He's always calling. He knows the game script and which team's going to come back, which team's going to pull away, which team's going to win. I swear he knows which team's going to win, definitely. He knows the script. If he starts glazing Mahomes from the start in the Kansas City Chiefs and he's glazing their defense and their offense, Kansas City's winning this game. Romo just knows the plays. Romo's banned from the books because he knows all the scripts. Over-under, John Taylor holding penalty missed, soaring over. Yep. Sean Smith, I can't wait to see how the refs make their mark on this game. It's going to be electric. Time the national anthem. Get warmed up for Super Bowl. They're going fast. Timing both national anthems today in preparation for Super Bowl 58. They're flying. This would be the quickest national anthem in Super Bowl history. Oh. $132. Gonna save that for studying purposes for the Super Bowl national anthem. But with that being said, the picks are in, the plays are in, the props, the game picks, the teasers, the parlays, the anytime touchdowns, the first touchdowns. With that being said, enjoy your championship Sunday. Enjoy the final 3 games of the 2023-2024 season. It's been a pleasure to start this show this year. And for all the buzz, all the support, all the following, we appreciate you guys being here each Sunday morning, for getting the boys juiced up, getting the boys buzzing. We will see you until next time. Thank you.